took my eyes off the trail for a split second and ended up in this ditch. The Land Cruiser pushed up against the embankment and completely immobilised. This is a delicate situation that's going to require some serious grit to recover. Oh yes, there we go. We've got some movement, it's pulling it away from the bank. Oh, thank God. With the winch rope attached to a tree up ahead, there's finally a little light at the end of the tunnel for recovering this vehicle after spending much of the afternoon stuck in the ditch. Oh man! Just relying totally on the winch to stop me from falling back into it. Ah! This is one of the most intense self-recoveries on this expedition so far. Yes! Relying completely on the winch, I at last began to feel some positive movement as I dragged this 3-ton beast out of its resting place. Holy shit! Ah, God, thank God. Back on the road at last, and I want nothing more than to find a camp spot, set up the camper, and turn in for the night. And just around the corner, looks like the trail is finally going to give me a break. Oh wow, it's one of these abandoned forestry keepers' houses. This is sick. Let's stop and have a look at this, man. Wow, okay, so this is an outbuilding. A few little chimneys on top there. God, look at this, man. So, what a spectacular place for it. What these are abandoned lodges. So during the late 1800s, they basically built all these, and they were built for wardens of the forestry areas and natural parks and that. And during the military dictatorship in Portugal, they also functioned throughout that time. But then when that collapsed, the central control and funding and everything collapsed as well. And so these were just totally abandoned and have been ever since. In, I think it was 1972. These are all over the country. And they've been abandoned for, what is that, 40, 50 years almost? So this is in actually pretty good nick, and it's remarkably barred and shuttered. You know, I've seen a lot of other ones which have been, you know, the roofs collapsed and all that. Yeah, see in there. Wow. Kind of cool. So yeah, this one is remarkably in order, you know, to be fair. Yeah, not much going on there. Mate, we could camp here, honestly. This is a nicely flat spot in a remote area of northern Portugal. Looks ideal for a place to spend the night. Yeah, no access to this one whatsoever. Like every other one that I've seen about 3 on my last trip, you know. They've had the doors kicked in and like people have gone in and all that kind of thing, but not this one. Really, really cool thing to see, and knowing the history as well, it makes it even more special, you know. An abandoned building in a lonely and spectacular place. The makeshift shelter of weary travellers for millennia. Incredible, brother. This has been like a cooking area, or perhaps even a, I don't know, outdoor washing laundry facility, but yeah, they would have had like a fireplace here, hence the chimneys up the top there. Got a fascination with abandoned buildings. I don't really know what it is about them that fascinates me so much, but I've always loved them. Like this evidence of lives long ago lived, and now they're sitting silent with the hearts cold. It's evocative in a sad, creepy kind of way, and for some reason it just captures my imagination tons, you know. But enough philosophizing for now. Time to park this beast up and set up for a night of camping in this strange place. And this is as good as any, like sheltered behind this old building. The trees around for cover. Like, I don't think I'm gonna find anything better than this. Really nice flat ground that's been like graded and that in the past. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. Like, this is just about as good as you get, to be honest. This is sick, mate. Yeah, man, this is an ideal spot, honestly. I'm really happy with this. It's kind of sheltered, the wind's blowing a gale. It's unseasonably bloody cold. And yeah, we're sheltered in the lee of this building. Got a big old tree there, which looks fairly stout. And one there to kind of deflect the wind a bit, so. Yeah, this is where we're gonna call home for the night. I'm pretty stoked. I'm gonna get myself stuck away in the car, out of the wind. and probably put the night heater on because it's freaking Baltic. Okay, so it's the next day here at camp. As you can see, another absolutely gross day. Yesterday, I stayed here for the full day and stayed the following night again. And the reason for that was because the weather was so horrendous that I couldn't really drive on the trail without wipers. You know, today is not much better, to be honest, so I have to leave today. I have work to do tonight. So yeah, we're gonna see how we go on the trail today. Yeah, I'm gonna set off now and see how we go. But yeah, this weather front is not lifting. It is really, to be quite honest, gross. Like, it's not that fun camping in this kind of weather, to be quite honest with you. You know, you can kind of put on a brave face, put the night heater on, but everything's just a bit damp and dank and pretty friggin' cold as well. So yeah, hoping this clears up soon. All right, man, so today we're gonna pull out of here, go down onto the trail. It's getting on for 11 o'clock now, so we're gonna go do a few hours on the trail, head southwards. There's a couple of campsite options down there, so I'm gonna stay at a campsite basically for the next couple of days, I think, like a paid one. This is super rural Portugal, and I'm kind of in need of doing some stuff online. I've got a load of sponsorship stuff to answer and do some actual paid work as well, because I'm running low funds wise. So yeah, gotta do that, and I'm gonna have to try to figure out all this car stuff as well, because the separation of the camper and cab continues. It's getting worse, and it's now beginning to tear apart all this ply lining behind me that you see here. So like, this is where the join is, and so that's becoming torn apart because of the separation and obviously water ingress. So I'm gonna need to deal with that like really soon. So I need to figure out where I can get stuff delivered and where I can do the job. The overheating black smoke issue, that also I need to deal with really before I continue going south in earnest, I think. I'm going to do a few more tests, and if I can't figure it out, then it's going to be time to take it to a diesel mechanic. Hate that, but sometimes I guess it's necessary. So yeah, let's get out of here, see what we can do today. So this is the plan here today. This is us right now. This is my pre-plotted trail, but we're not going to follow it. We're going to go over towards this lake here because there's a really good looking campsite, so we're going to head kind of more west than south really, and it's fine because I've got more trail over here as well, which will take us further west because we're going towards the coast ultimately. So yeah, the trail I'm going to try to take here is this one. So this is, it looks to me, yeah, it's wind turbine maintenance trails. So these are usually really nice, big, wide, sandy trails, pretty well maintained. You make some good progress on, so yeah, gonna do that, and hopefully there won't be that much like foliage and stuff to harbor water, which will, you know, help with our window wipers situation. Follow that trail pretty much all the way along. We'll have to figure out this forestry stuff here, and then go to a campsite on the north side of this lake. This overlanding life is sometimes a strange and transitory existence, and on occasion, doing this alone can feel a bit bleak and lonely. But I don't think I'll ever tire of the pang of anticipation you get of dropping the car into gear and pulling out of a wild campsite first thing in the morning, pushing out into the unknown. I have to twist the camper off the side of the house. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Come on then. Alright, up onto the moor we go, eh? Friggin' hell. And straight into the rain. Fuck. You can see here how visibility is going to become a serious problem. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this today, man. The rain is really coming down in sheets, and honestly, I'm struggling to see a damn thing out here. Nevertheless, this is a spectacular drive up to the moor, and once again, I find it reminding me of Wales. I'm infinitely surprised to keep thinking that about Portugal, but in truth today, it's probably just the torrential rain. You can see how rural these places are, because these are like main roads, you know, but they're unpaved. So these are like dirt trails that connect all these little towns and villages, but they're not paved. That's crazy for a Western country. So this is the main road connecting the small towns and villages all around here. This is nuts, man. I'm now beginning to gain altitude again on my climb up towards the high moor. But as I climb, the weather just gets worse. Torrential rain and thick fog. A combination that's far from ideal for a vehicle without windscreen wipers. I'm not gonna lie, mate, I'm really not having a great time right now. This rain and lack of wiper situation is really taxing, and the knowing of all the stuff that's wrong with this car is also just weighing heavily on me, you know what I mean? I'm here with the full blast heater trying to stop this from steaming up, but I mean, no wipers in a rainstorm, it's bloody hard. Look at this, mate, so we're just cresting a mountain, and this is visibility. I'd say it's no more than 50 feet ahead. And this seems to be a fog that's laid over the entire north of the country right now. This is crazy to me. I really thought it was going to be hot as balls in Portugal in like the middle of summer, you know what I mean? Oh, here we go, this is our first beast of a wind turbine. So you can imagine where we are right now. We're in the middle of nowhere, high moorland, somewhere where there's tons of wind to keep these wind turbines moving. I've got no freaking wipers. I mean, I'm complaining about not having wipers and all that, and blah blah blah, but I do have to say, I remain ever grateful that I'm not spending my random Tuesday morning sitting behind a desk like I used to spend my life. Kind of fraught and a bit uncomfortable as this is, it's way better than slaving away at a corporate job, so, you know, I have to continually remind myself to always be grateful of that, you know? Man, I can't see a goddamn thing. Little tiny bit of sun through the clouds there. It's not much, but it is something. Okay, I've just diverted off the trail to see what this supermarket's all about because I need some food, and this is it. So I think like little places along the way is interesting, you know. Well, I went in there. It's the tiniest little mini market, like, you know, I guess it serves this one tiny little community. They've got nothing fresh. It's all just kind of, it's like a deli basically, but with very few things. But I've got like some fouet, this sausage, I don't really know what that is, some really nice fresh bread. They wanted to know about what I'm doing and stuff, and I told them, and they're just lovely, lovely people. It's so rural. I don't suppose they ever see anything like this coming through, but yeah, she made me this little bread thing with some of the chorizo, salami or whatever it is that I bought, and this is like a freebie, you know. She's like, you wanna try the bread and the stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I will. So I'm eating this now. It's a really nice, like, little merienda. Yeah, it's kind of fascinating to me how rural these places are. Portugal is a place where the chains and the big corporations and stuff just haven't managed to get a hold of, and I don't know why, but it's like stepping back in time. You know, you go to these tiny little towns and villages and stuff, and in Spain there's always an Eroski or another supermarket brand that's, you know, gotten in there, and they're the main food supplier for the town, you know, and it's the same stuff everywhere. Here, no, none of that. It's all independent local people who have this tiny little general store. That place didn't even have its lights on, you know, hardly any refrigerators working or anything like that. Just super basic, mostly dry stock, you know, cured meats. I remember the last time I was here in Portugal for, I think it was 6 weeks, I basically didn't see a piece of fresh meat. It was all cured sausages, you know, a bit of cured ham and that kind of thing. And that's just how I ate, because there was no option, you know, which is so crazy to me. You could think of it as deprivation in a way, you know, there's less selection, but the quality of the ingredients is much higher. And so there's some kind of, I think, purity to eating what you can find along the way, and it teaches you some level of, I don't know, patience and restraint, and there's something magic about it, you know, like, yes, you're eating less diverse food, and you can't always get what you want, but maybe that makes it more special when you do find it eventually. You know, having everything you want all the time, is it necessarily good for us as humans, mentally? I don't know if it is. So yeah, I kind of like it. Alright, so I've just pulled up at this really rural campsite, middle of nowhere, and it's awesome. Nice little spot. The guy's got some like bungalows here and a bit of a camping area down there, but yeah, this is my spot here under the tree, and I'm pretty chuffed with that. This will be our home for the next couple of days. So I've got the water cornered already because I was totally out of that, so that's filling up nicely now. I want to pop a roof, I want to make ourselves comfortable and start work in about 25 minutes. So these are the other things that I got at the shop there. So this is like a quarter round of cheese. This is some salami stuff that she cut right off the block, which looks and smells really good. And half a loaf of really nice local bread. So this was baked this morning, and it is really good because that's some of the stuff she gave me a taste of. So yeah, really simple fare, but just the quality is amazing and it tastes great. So yeah, I'm happy. So that's the sandwich, pretty good there. So I've got the cheese underneath there, salami stuff on top, and the nice bread. So yeah, pretty chuffed with that. I spent the next few days living out of the camper in the campsite before heading back to the trail. Alright, so I've just left the campsite and we're heading up into the mountains. So it's a couple of days later. I stopped to do a bunch of work, basically do some filming and editing and stuff like that. The car's running okay, the problems persist. At least it's not raining anymore. That's one thing I've got to be grateful for, that bad weather front's passed. Everything is yeah, everything else is still an issue. So yeah, we're gonna go and try to rejoin our route today via an interesting path that I'm trying to plot out. So check this out on my maps. So yeah, if you look on my map here, so this is where we camped on the other side of the reservoir here, and we're trying to rejoin my pre-plotted trail, which is going to take me westward. So it's this green line here, but to get back to it via a four-wheel drive route, I'm kind of trying to plot as we go this route. This is going to go down to like an abandoned farm, I think, and then we're going to take this four-wheel drive route right over these mountains up ahead. So this is going to be an interesting route because I think it's trying to take like fire lanes and such like. It's not like normal four-wheel drive routes. It looks like it's going to be quite extreme. It's going to go right over this mountain via this very rarely used, it looks like, four-wheel drive route. Eventually reach another dirt road and link back up with our trail here. I meandered back to where I'd left off on the trail several days earlier, readying myself to get off-piste in some of the most remote terrain in northern Portugal. If we go left here, this is going to take us onto that four-wheel drive route. Nice German Shepherd. Wow, what views, man. Jeez, look at this, man. Incredible rocky outcrop, that. Wow. Just drop it into 4 for this descent. Amazing views, dude. As ever, the camera never really does gradient justice, but this is one hell of a steep descent. Wow, this is actually a pretty scary freaking steep path. So we are once again completely off-piste, plotting our own way through the extreme rural Portuguese countryside on trails that are unknown. This is real low range shit, this. Jesus. Right, this is a freaking dead end is what this is. Friggin' hell. Oh wow, so I'm like balls deep into this track. Oh man. It looks like there's been a rock fall or something. And it's now just totally impassable. Friggin' hell. God, we're so far into this track as well. God. There's no way I can do this safely. I mean, look at this. I am well deep into this track on a cliffside. Shit. And there is definitely no way through. This will be way too dangerous to attempt. It's just too thin and the stakes are too high, so frig. I'm gonna have to reverse all the way back there. Oh god, I'm just going on about how great bloody going off piste is and making your own track, and this is the actual result of it a lot of the time. This is gonna be a reverse back down the track job, which I am not stoked about. Perched on a freaking precipice, mate, as well. Like, oh, man, it's just like an endless drop into the valley down there. Friggin' hell. Yeah, never a dull moment on this trail. Good God, like the stakes are insanely high. Like, that is literally a cliff's edge right down there. And that doesn't stop for 400 meters, I would say, down there. Right, I'm gonna have to be bloody careful here. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit terrified doing this track, just because the stakes are so high. Like, if I put one tyre wrong right now, I'm going over the edge there, you know what I mean? Oh, this is stuff that really makes you pucker.